Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my beautiful wife, Karina from beautiful Venezuela. Today is January 1st, 2025. 2025. O enero uno. 2025. Hoy is January 1st. Happy New Year and benedictions to everybody around the world who watches this channel. It's your live stream. It's your YouTube channel. It's where you come and ask me questions about green cards, K1 visas, spousal visas, tourist visas, and I give you all this free advice. I save you what, $4,000, $5,000 in immigration attorney fees, because if you watch the videos I've made over the last year or two, at least 2 years, I don't know, I lost track of time. You can watch the videos on how to adjust status to green card and how to put together a green card application, how to put together a K1 visa application. All you got to do is watch the videos, and then you don't have to pay anybody to do this because it's easy. What's the K1 visa process is easy. What is it? How many pages is it on the I-129F? How many pages? I mean, it can't be that very many. I think it's what, 12 pages? It used to be 13 pages. Let me see. Let's get it for sure. But if you need help putting together a K1 visa package, let me know. And I'll walk you through it step by step. And Ren S is first up to bat. Happy 2025, everyone. Well, happy 2025 to Ren S and her new husband from Ghana, right? And you are living in Texas, the great state of Texas. And we wish everybody a happy new year. But more importantly, we want to make sure everybody gets their green card and gets their K1 visa. Now, remember, I'm not an immigration attorney, and I don't give you any legal advice. And I don't work for USCIS. But I could work for USCIS if I wanted. I already know how to do this. I've got 10 years of experience putting together K1 visas and green cards. I've helped people from at least 30 countries. And there's people that watch the channel from at least 250 countries plus. Well, that was the analytics for 2025. Shiku is on the live stream. Happy New Year, Diego. Long life. Yes, Shiku, and you also. A long life to you and your family, and especially your 11-year-old daughter. Although she may be 12 now, because the time went by so quickly. 2024, it just whizzed on through. And a lot of people, they got their K1 visas approved, and they're in America right now. And they're waiting for their green cards to get adjudicated. If it's taking a little bit of time, relax. It's okay. It's normal. The process is not fast. There is no such thing as a rapid visa or a fast visa or an accelerated visa. It doesn't exist. You meet somebody, you date each other for at least a year. You got 2 trips under your belt to go see your beneficiary, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, and you make enough money to support her or him, and you met each other face to face within 2 years before you filed the K1 visa application, and you don't have a felony record for a criminal record, which is going to disqualify you. So you qualify for the benefits. All you got to do is put a K1 visa package together and submit it, and then wait to get adjudicated. It takes time. Nick Alejandro, Happy New Year. On January 12th, I will be finally making my way to America with my fiancée from Dakar, which is in Senegal. Thanks for your help. I plan on changing my name and my fiancée as well when we get married. Any tips? Yeah, it's easy Karina, she changed her last name, her maiden name, to my last name. And how do you do it? When you fill out page 2 of USCIS Form I-485, which is the adjustment of status paperwork, when you adjust your status to green card, on page 2, you change your name from your maiden name to your married name, if you so desire, Mrs. Beneficiary. It's not difficult. It's not complicated. You don't need an immigration attorney to do this. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't have to go to any legal courtrooms to change your last name. Here's how you do it. If you want it, how do you change your last name? Well, first you get married, and then when you look at the marriage certificate is going to have your maiden name on it, Miss Beneficiary. Even though you just got married and you signed it, and the witness signed it, and the sponsor signed it, it's going to be in your maiden name. So you want to change your last name to your husband's last name on page 1 of USCIS form I-485. On page 1, this is where you change your name, right here, page 1. This is your married name, and this is your maiden name. And Shiku gets the first super chat for 2025. Shiku, we appreciate you, and you get the first super chat for 2025. So we're going to start a new video of super chat superstars for 2025. 2024 has gone away, so Shiku is going to be up to bat. Diego, I received my receipt I-790C on the mailbox. My receipt date was December 20th. I sent my files in December 19th. How long for my biometrics? Shiku, first you're going to get a Mountain Dew salute for the first super chat of 2025. It's going to take about 2 weeks for the biometrics. They got to process it. They're going to call. Now, this is what happens. When you apply for the K-1 visa, the sponsor schedules the biometrics at the embassy, or not at the embassy, but for the beneficiary, with the visa interview. When you come to the United States of America, immigration creates a biometrics interview. It's not an interview. It's a get together for fingerprints, photo, and your signature. It takes about 10 days. And let's see here. April Flower, how are you? And how is Karina? Karina's good. She's right here. She's doing excellent. Thank you, April. How are you guys doing? How are you doing? Ajali, Happy New Year, Diego and Karina. Just an update. My fiance's interview was rescheduled from December 24th to January 3rd. So it goes this Friday. Now remember, Ajali, if you're not going to get married, well, you can't now because 2024 is gone. Okay. If you got married in 2024, you could have filed a joint tax return in January in 2025. But now you're going to get married in 2025. You cannot file a joint tax return together. Okay. You got to be married and be together for a year. And in 2026 is when you can file a joint tax return. Okay. But good job, Ajali. And now we didn't forget, we helped you with this visa interview. If I remember, it was in the Dominican Republic, and it was the embassy was having a bit of a slow time, but now it's moving along for you. April Flower, what green card application update should I use if I'm filing that as of today? Well, you're going to go into USCIS.gov. Go into this website right here. I'll type it out for you. Go into USCIS.gov/forms. You go into that website and you scroll down and you're going to look for USCIS form 485 adjustment status, and you're going to use that form that pops up on the website. Okay, it's very easy. April Flower, relax. Don't sweat this. Don't overthink it. It's easy. You go into USCIS.gov/forms. You page down, you look for USCIS form I-485. You fill it out, and then you print it. If there's anything on that form you cannot put on the computer, you can use a black ink pen. Okay, also. Okay. So what green card application update should I use? You're going to use the one that shows up in the place I just mentioned to you, okay? And then you're good. Boogeyman. So my fiance changed her name on driving license and social security and her bank account, but on our marriage certificate, her name is still her name, not changed one. Also, we're planning to apply for adjustment of status. That's normal. Karina's maiden name is on the marriage certificate and will be on her, and it will be forever her maiden name. The marriage certificate is going to have the lady's maiden name all over the United States. I don't care if you get married in Florida, California, Nevada, wherever you get married, the marriage certificate is going to have the lady's maiden name. When you have filed for adjustment of status, immigration knows that. Then you change the name on page 1 of USCIS form I-485. This is where you change the name of your wife to your wife's maiden name goes in here, and then her married name goes in here. That's how you change it. You don't have to go to any legal shenanigans to get the last name changed. Boogeyman on the 17th of January, 50 days after wedding. Okay, that's good. Perfect. Good job. You must have been watching some of the videos I made on that. Shiku, have not received any receipt for the USCIS online account. What is going there? I can't check my case. I need access code. Is that correct? Yes, you do. I'm confused. My case is at the NBC National Benefit Center, NBC National Benefit Center. So you know where it is. You just got to wait for that letter. USCIS will send you a letter, and it should come with the letter with the biometrics on or about the same day. Okay? And Shiku, don't forget, you got to adjust the status for your daughter. You got to file for her green card like this week. Okay? Boogeyman, we had a courthouse wedding. Okay, good. With my wife and her mother and the woman who did our wedding. We took pictures on the phone. We don't have any professional wedding pictures. You don't have to. This isn't this immigration don't care if you paid somebody $500 to take pictures or you took them on your phone. They don't care. They just want to see pictures. So you got all these beautiful pictures on your iPhone. You plug it into your computer. You put the pictures on your computer, or you can go to Walmart with all your pictures on your cell phone, and they will download the pictures for you, and they will print all the pictures you want. Walmart can do it too. Or you can do it at home, like I do. I take pictures, I plug it in the computer, I download it, and then I print them right here. It doesn't matter if you hire a photographer or not. What matters is you got pictures, right? Shiku, all you got to do is you got to wait for those letters to come in. They're going to come to you, okay? What did you think about National Benefit Center? It's a processing house for green cards. It's all good. You're going to get it. You'll get your green card. You just got to be patient. I think Karina, I believe hers went through the National Benefit Center with the IOE number, if I remember. So Bogeyman had a courthouse wedding. Good job. You took pictures on your phone. Good job. We don't have a professional wedding photos. Don't worry about it. Print your beautiful pictures. Put about 10 or 15 pictures from your wedding in the green card application. If you have a honeymoon, put 5 or 6 pictures of your honeymoon and about 10 pictures of you guys doing stuff over the last 50 days in the United States. And then a few pictures from when you were in her foreign country where she used to live. We have Boogeyman. We have a bunch of pictures of us on dates and with family and friends. That's great. So all you got to do is you got to print the pictures. You got to identify who the people are in the pictures. You got to say the date the picture was taken and the location the picture was taken. Where was the picture? Where were they taken? Okay. When we applied for Karina's green card on February 29th of last year, okay, and we included about 30 or 40 pictures from when we started dating, when we were in Colombia, when we were close to the border with Venezuela, when Karina was in America, and she got her green card June 25th of last year. So what does that mean? Karina is starting her second year in the United States of America. In 2 days, it will be the 1-year anniversary of when Karina and we landed in Miami from Bogota, Colombia. El Dorado International Airport. We left El Dorado on January 3rd, 2024, landed in Miami. That's a year ago, almost in 2 days. But I remember like it was just yesterday. It was just like yesterday. 2024 is just gone. But we got all these memories of 2024. And we got all these pictures on discs. and memory sticks. And right here. And now what I've done is I got a memory stick for 2025. So I got a memory stick right here of all the photos from 2024. I printed up a bunch for Karina's 10-year green card. This is a memory stick. I don't know if you can see that. 2025, Ross family photos. And here's the memory stick. So this memory stick is going to be only for 2025 photos. So there's no confusion. This memory stick is only 2024 photos. Okay, well, it's actually this, but it's only 2024 photos. This is going to be for 2025. Okay, so we don't confuse the pictures, right? So every time we do something that's significant, like Karina and I are going to go on vacation somewhere. We'll have a few vacations this year. We will take the pictures and download them to this memory stick for 2025, and I will print them for her 10-year green card. March of next year, Karina's going to apply for her 10-year green card. And you will be able to see what she does. We will walk you through the process. We'll explain to you the deadlines that you have to meet. Remember, Karina's 2-year green card is conditional. What does that mean? It's probationary. It means it's a 2-year conditional green card. Does Karina like America? Does she want to stay with me? You know, it's 2 years of, is everything good? Well, everything's good, obviously. So 90 days before her 2-year green card expires, within 90 days of her green card expiring, her 2-year green card, we're going to file for her 10-year green card. And we already have an album this thick of stuff that we've done in 2024. Plus, it's going to include the marriage certificate, which has her maiden name on it, not her married name, which is okay. Don't worry about it. We got her. We don't need the I-94 for the 10-year green card. We don't need the I-94. We don't need a medical exam, because the medical exam you do for your 2-year green card, which is mandatory as of December 2nd last year, you got to do it. It's good for life, okay? So for when we apply for the 10-year green card, we include the marriage certificate, okay? We're going to include pictures of 2024, 2025, and 2026, and all the evidence, all the bills that she's on the title to the car, the house, all that stuff's going to get included in that. March of next year, we're going to apply for Karina's 10-year green card. Now, what happens? What if it's a 1-year wait for her 10-year green card? Oh, well, and her 2-year green cards are expired. What? Don't panic. Listen, when you apply for your 10-year green card, your 2-year green card is automatically extended for 1 year. You didn't know that, did you? You learn all this stuff right here on this channel, because nobody tells you this stuff. You got a 2-year green card. It expires. You've applied for your 10-year green card, and you got an expired 2-year green card, but it's got an automatic 1-year extension on it. So then you can wait and wait and wait for your 10-year green card to get here. You're not going to be in any trouble, and you can still work at your day job or your night job. So let's see. Shiku, what do you think about the National Benefit Center? It's a place to adjudicate green cards, and when it's adjudicated, they will send all the paperwork to Corbin, Kentucky, and in Corbin, Kentucky, they will produce your green card and they will mail it to you, as long as you have a strong green card application. Shiku, Diego, the National Benefits Center is open 24 hours. Yeah, I'm happy about it. If today they open, the address is 5000 Lee Summit. You're good. Diego, my receipt papers in my mailbox shows my new name. Is that okay? Yes, it's good, because my name was changed in marriage certificate. You're good, Chiku. Relax. Now, I'm gonna get different pixie dust for 2025. So I'm not gonna use old pixie dust for 2024. So I'm not gonna have any pixie dust for today's live stream, but the next live stream we're gonna have new pixie dust, okay, to help get your green cards processed quicker. They say it seems to work. When I shake the pixie dust, it seems to work. It seems, boom, all of a sudden you get NOA2 letters or I-797 letters, etc. Remember, in 2025, in 19 days, we're going to have a new president. President Trump-elect is going to be president of the United States. A lot of people are worried, well, is he going to block K-1 visas? Is he going to block spousal visas? No, he's not. He's not going to change anything, okay? The only thing he's going to change is going to be the legality of the process, which means it's going to make it tougher for fraudulent persons to try to get a green card or for people to get a K-1 visa. There's a lot of fraud out there. A lot of folks are, abusing the system. So Trump's going to clamp down on that. All right. He may make you have to here's what I think. He's going to make it harder to become a citizen, but is it going to be harder? Yes or no? No, it's not. He just wants you to learn about the history of our country and our Constitution. Okay. If you're going to be an American citizen, you best know about everything about our country, pretty much, right? So you're going to be going to class, learning about our history. Take a class on the Constitution. Karina's going to do that. Oh, she already knows pretty much, all the history of our country, but she learned it in Spanish. But she needs to learn it in English, and she's doing a good job. So is Trump going to block K-1 visas? Is he going to block spousal visas or tourist visas or spousal visas? No, he's not going to stop you guys from getting married. Okay? But he's going to make the process more strict. Right now, to qualify for the K-1 visa, all you got to do is meet each other once, right? Within 2 years before you file the application. Well, do you think meeting somebody one time is strong enough for a K-1 visa? Well, that's what the law says. But I think Trump may change that. I got a feeling he'll make it where you have to meet each other twice and have a longer relationship. So you guys have really been together a long time. We dated each other for a year plus. And I lived with Karina in Colombia for 2.5 years. So when I filed for the green card and for the K-1, we had so much evidence of our relationship. But if you've only met your beneficiary one time and you only spent a week with her or him, and you have maybe a few pictures, it's going to be difficult. You're going to have a stronger K-1 visa application starting probably January 20th. Just my opinion. Shiku, Diego always talks about the maiden name. What is it? The maiden name is the last name of the young lady that the American citizen marries. Okay? So Karina had a maiden name, which was different from my name. She had her mom's name. It was Karina and her mom's name, her maiden name, her unmarried name. Okay, females, ladies, y'all have your mom's last name, your dad's last name. Depends around the world how the culture of your country. You may have your mom and your dad's last name, but that's the maiden name. Then when Karina married me, they went away, and she took my last name. Well, they didn't go away, obviously, but now she has my last name. That's what the maiden name is, Shiku. So do you understand that? Boogeyman. So Diego, I saw someone recently got their work permit in 2 weeks. Seen people get their green card in 2 months. Is it possible? Yes. I saw somebody get their work permit in 3 weeks and their green card in 3 months. But it depends. If you put together a very strong green card application, you've been dating each other for a year, you've made 3 trips or 4 trips to see your beneficiary, you got 60 pictures together you included in the green card application, you got a whole year's worth of chats on WhatsApp or Yahoo Messenger, you got 3 or 4 copies of boarding passes from 3 or 4 trips. The stronger the green card application, the stronger the K-1 visa application, the quicker it's going to be done. Okay? Shiku is your unmarried name. Right. Karina's unmarried name is her maiden name. But now she's Karina Ross. Boogeyman, you think now that Trump is the president, right now he's president-elect, Biden is right now the president, is it going to affect the marriage-based adjustment of status? No. President Trump doesn't control the immigration process. The Congress does. But the Congress is ran by Republicans. Very well, even though I don't see any difference between the freaking Republicans and the Democrats. But here's the thing, right? The green card process right now is strict. It's going to get stricter. But if you are in a real relationship, if you can prove it, if you have a ton of evidence of being married, you've been married for 2 years, 3 years, you've been married for 6 months, you get on a plane, you fly to Colombia, you marry your beneficiary, and then you file for the spousal visa. If you've been dating each other for 2 years, if you have a long relationship, a lot of pictures, a lot of evidence, then you're good. The only thing Trump is trying to prevent is immigration fraud. Okay, and no disrespect to the office of the presidency, but Biden didn't do that. Biden let the southern border wide open. Anybody could come in. All right, so here we are doing it the right way, following the rules of the Congress, the laws of our land, the immigration laws, and Biden just ignored them, basically, in my opinion. But Trump's going to enforce them. All right, so be prepared. Not for a block on your green card or your K-1 visa, but for stricter enforcement. Okay. Here's what I think is going to happen also. If you submit a green card application that's just sloppy, you didn't pay attention to it, it was sloppy work, you got lazy, and you get an RFE on something stupid, and then you submit the RFE incorrectly, I believe there's going to be more denials off of the RFE. So if you get an RFE, which is a request for further evidence, make sure you don't mess up the paperwork. When you submit your K-1 visa application, make sure you don't put spell your wife's or your future wife, spell your fiance's name correctly. Make sure you put her passport number down properly. Don't transpose any numbers. Get her date of birth correctly. Put that in the paperwork. Don't mess up dates of birth. If you love somebody and you're a female beneficiary, she doesn't know who her dad is. On the K-1 visa application, it asks for the beneficiary's dad, his name, where does he live, what's his date of birth. If you don't know, don't make up something. You put unknown. Unknown. You don't know, you say you don't know. Immigration is not going to ding you for that. If you don't know, you don't know. But don't make up stuff, because then you get in trouble. And it is boogeyman. It is possible to get a green card in 2 months, but it all depends on how very strong the application was. Karina got hers in 3 months and a couple of weeks. Let me see. Renes, I got my work permit and biometrics all in 30 days. Well, that's a Mountain Dew salute from Renes. Good job. And Renes is in Texas, by the way. Good job, Renes. Wealthy, rich mindsets. Oh, I like that name. That's Capitalism 101. If you are in the Dominican Republic, do you need a scheduler to go to the embassy? No, you don't need a scheduler to go to the embassy if you're in the Dominican Republic. You need your passport. If you have a Dominican Republic passport, you're going to get access to the embassy. And then they're going to process the K-1 visa into your passport. Terrence Tambigor. Hello, Diego and Karina. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Terrence. Good job. Thank you for that. Terrence, how is your family doing? How is everybody doing? Are you all holding on? Are you staying strong during this visa process and this green card process? Are you guys hanging in there? You know you're going to get the K-1 visas, right? You know you're going to get your green card. You just got to wait for the process. And it's a long process, and sometimes it's a short process. But it is what it is, right? Shiku, that's what we are praying for, to get my work permit by the end of January. Yes. Renes, but need my biometrics appointment for now to the 10th of January by grace of God. You are right, Shiku. And you're going to get your green card. You're going to get your work permit. You're going to get your biometrics done. Okay? And wealthy, rich mindsets. If you don't have a Dominican passport, the person is from Haiti. Well, then you bring your Haitian passport. If you are from Haiti, living in the Dominican Republic, and because of the political turmoil in Haiti right now, okay, it's an unstable country and everybody's basically fighting everybody else, and you happen to be in the Dominican Republic and you have a passport from Haiti, you use your passport from Haiti to enter the embassy of the United States in the Dominican Republic. Don't need a scheduler. You got your passport, your Haitian passport. Keeping up with Irene. Hello, Diego and Karina. Happy, blessed, and prosperous New Year. Well, thank you. Same also to you and your family. I finally got my visa approval on my interview day. Okay, how long until I can get my Social Security number after I arrive in the United States? You can get your Social Security number 2 ways. And either way, it's going to be quick. You can go down to the Social Security office where you live with your I-94. I'm going to type right in here the form you're going to need. You're going to need your I-94, your marriage certificate, right here, marriage certificate, and your passport. You take your I-94, your marriage certificate, and your passport to the Social Security office and apply for your Social Security number, or you can apply for it on page 2 of USCIS Form I-485. Page 2, USCIS Form I-485. Those are the two ways you can do it. You can let USCIS apply for your Social Security card for you. You just got to fill out page 2 of the Form 485. Say, yeah, you go ahead, Homeland Security, go ahead and process my Social Security number. Or you can do it yourself. Go down to the Social Security Administration office with your I-94, your marriage certificate, and your passport and apply. And then you will get your Social Security card in the mail in about 10 days. But it depends on where you live. Like where we live here in Florida, we could just drive down there and take a number and go in and done. We got it done in like 20 minutes. But if you live in a big city like Atlanta, Georgia, or if you're in New York City, or if you're in Los Angeles, a big city like that, it may be a bit of a longer wait time to get the appointment for the Social Security Administration to process the Social Security number. But the good news is, once they've done it, once you've had your appointment done, you'll get the card in about a week to 10 days. And it gets mailed to you from Baltimore, Maryland. Let me see. So did that answer your question? Keeping up with Irene. Terrence, yes, Diego, my family is doing fine. Oh, by God, thanks for asking. Excited for the new year and a new beginning with my fiance coming to the United States soon. Very soon. Mountain Dew salute. There it is. Now, Mountain Dew don't pay me to give you Mountain Dew salutes. I just like Mountain Dew. When I was in the Navy, I drank Mountain Dew to stay awake. Now I drink Mountain Dew without sugar. But when I was in the Navy, I drank it with sugar. But now it's no sugar. But it's still good. So let's see. Terrence, yeah, we can't wait for your fiance to get here and start your lives together in the United States of America, our constitutional republic. Okay? Now, I just want to say to those folks in New Orleans right now, which Karina, she had her biometrics in New Orleans. And then Karina and I, we were in New Orleans. We walked on Bourbon Street. We walked on Canal Street. There was a terrible incident where lots of people got killed, okay, early this morning. We want to give our prayers to those families for that terrible incident. And it's in the FBI and the police department in New Orleans are all going to take care of it. They're going to handle it. Okay, but that was a terrible tragedy. It's unnecessary. Violence of any kind is not good. Okay, it's not good. We don't like to see that happen. We want to see everybody getting along with each other. And, if you have a difference of opinion in political or whatever, religious, you just handle it calmly and nicely. You don't be going around killing people. And keeping up with Irene, thanks so much. Yes, you answered. I know the answer to every question that you could possibly come up with regarding green cards and K1 visas. There's nothing I don't know about this process. Okay? Oh, seriously. I can do this. I can fill out a green card application in my sleep. Okay? It's not difficult. So what are the mandatory forms for a green card? What are the mandatory forms for a green card? The 693, the medical exam, the vaccination certification. You got to redo your medical exam when you get to America. You arrive in America, you're happy as a clam, you got through the K1 visa process, the K1 visa goes away, now you're working off of an I-94, you got 90 days to get married. If you don't get married within 90 days, you'll be deported. Okay? So you get married within 90 days. You file for the green card application within 50 to 60 days after you get married. That gives you enough time to build up a green card application, right? What forms are you going to fill out? Well, USCIS form I-485, the application for the green card. That's the beneficiary signs that one. And when you sign these forms, you sign your full name, your first name, your middle name, and your last name. Now, if you've got 4 names, you sign 4 names. When immigration asks you to sign your full name, this also applies to the sponsor, you got to sign your full name. First name, middle name, last name. And you got to sign it so immigration can read it. If you do a signature that looks like a chicken scratch, right? Like a doctor, you're a doctor, you're an internal medicine doctor, and you just draw a line, and that's my signature. All your stuff will be sent back to you with an invalid signature, even though it's your signature. You sign it nice and cursive in your first name, your middle name, and your last name. And you sign it so they can read your freaking name. If you don't, it's going to be an issue. Don't give them an excuse, right? Don't give them an excuse. Now, so you're going to have the civil surgeon, you're going to redo your medical exam for your green card. You're going to get a 693 signed by a civil surgeon authorized by the State Department. If you don't know how to find a civil surgeon where you live in America, let me know the city you live in, and I will find you a civil surgeon. You can't beat this channel, right? I'm going to do all the legwork for you. You're going to fill out USCIS Form 485, the adjustment of status paperwork. That's the beneficiary, fills it out. The sponsor can help. If your beneficiary doesn't speak English, you got to get a translator, and the translator has to sign off on the form. The other form you're going to need is the 864, the affidavit of support. And they just come out with a brand new affidavit of support. And it's only 12 pages long, I think. Let me see here. The affidavit of support is it just came out. It's 12 pages long. It's brand new. Okay? That's filled out by the sponsor and signed by the sponsor. Okay? So the 864, right? The 693 and the 485. And the I-94. When you file for your green card, you got to print your I-94. How do you do that? Well, I've made videos on how to print an I-94, but you can also go to the Border Patrol website. You're going to need your passport, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, and you got to print 5 or 6 copies of your I-94. That's got to go in your green card application. What else has to go in the green card application? A blown up color copy of the K1 visa and the K2 visa which is a separate application. Blown up copies of the biographic pages of both of your passports, the sponsor and the beneficiaries, pictures of your wedding, pictures of your honeymoon, evidence of joint bank accounts. You're on your joint account holders on the bank, so immigration can see you're commingling money. You're on the bills, Miss Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary. You're on the water bill, electric bill, trash bill, whatever you can get on, the internet bill, the homeowners association, whatever you can get on. Immigration want to see cohabitation and commingling of funds and a real relationship, of course, a wedding. So you got approval. You have to prove all this in paperwork. Okay. Now, if you are marrying, if you're an American who's marrying an American, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just go and get married, right? But when you marry a foreign national, you got to prove it. So you got to put together a life. You got to put together basically a timeline of your relationship. So I dated Karina in 2021, and in 2022, I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. After a year of dating, she said yes. Right? Yeah, she did. She's happy as a clam. In 2023, we kept dating each other, and we were engaged. I bought engagement rings here in Florida. I flew to Bogota 5 times. When I flew to Colombia 5 times and stayed with Karina close to 3 years in an apartment that we rented together with Mr. Fernando. So my name was on the rent receipts, and Karina's name was on the rent receipts for our rent in Bogota, right? So when we paid the rent, which was in cash, obviously, in Colombian pesos, Karina paid the rent, and my name and her name was on the rent receipt. And all these rent receipts were included in the K1 visa application. And they went to the green card, a part of it, not really so much for the green card application because she's here. But when we applied for the K1 visa, my name was all over the rent receipts for what? A year at least. At least 12 months worth of rent receipts from Colombia with my name on it, Karina's name on it. Immigration's like, oh, they lived together for a year. How did he do that? He doesn't have a visa to live in Colombia for a year. Well, I would go on tourist visas. Okay. And even when I wasn't in Colombia, I was in America, my name still went on the freaking receipt for the rent. You know? And you have your boarding passes of your trips. When you apply for a K1 visa, you got to prove you're in a relationship with this person for at least a year, a minimum, at least a year, in my opinion. You got to make at least 2 trips to see each other, in my opinion. You got to spend a lot of time together. You got to know everything about each other. You know, what is Karina's favorite movie on TV? What's her favorite TV shows? And I know her favorite TV show is Yo Me Llamo. And I know that. And Karina understood what I was saying because she's learning English pretty good. She's doing good. If you got a real relationship, and don't forget, when you apply for the green card, you got to back up some of that relationship status from your dating in your past in her country or his country. Shiku, Diego, what was your time difference between when you received your I-797C and your online account receipt number? It was within 2 days of each other. We got the I-797 first, and then the next day we got the online account number processing, the letter from immigration. But we already had an online account number when I first started the process. Remember, guys, I've been doing this a long freaking time. Okay, so I already had an online account number, and I knew I could use it for the green card paperwork. So I just kept the same online account. Shiko, I have to check my mailbox now. Well, look, let's put a Mountain Dew salute on your mailbox, Shiko. Hopefully you got your letter for your online account processing. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get it in the next day or 2, okay? But remember, today is New Year's Day. Today, nobody's working, right? Well, except for Karina. Karina worked today, but that's good because she made like triple time. All right, so Karina worked today, but the federal government doesn't work on New Year's Day unless you're in the military. Military never takes a day off, but the federal government generally is not going to be working today. So I don't think there's going to be any mail in your mailbox, Shiku, because it's a federal holiday. But tomorrow, I bet it's going to be in there. Karina got her 797, her letter from the immigration on her green card. Then she got an online account letter. But we already had an online account, so I didn't even need to worry about the letter. But if you don't have a USCIS online account number, boom. Use that. The letter will explain how to create the account. Larry Piercy in Florida. Hey, are you back?
Yes.
Were we back from where? We didn't go anywhere. I thought you were in Disney World with Mickey Mouse. Didn't you go, Larry? Didn't you go to Disney World when all the kids were on vacation, so you can wait 4 hours to get on mission space? We didn't go anywhere. We're still here, but we're going places in 2025, and we'll make. And I figured out how to download videos more efficiently from the iPhone today. You know, so I don't have to be carrying around a big camera. I can make videos on the iPhone. Tina Phoebe Umokoro. Hello, Diego and Karina. Please, what documents do I need to take when I go for my K1 visa interview? Well, let's see. What do I need to take when I go to my K1 visa interview, Tina? Well, I made a video about how to assemble documents. How to assemble. Let me see here. Documents. Right here. For the visa interview. I made a video. I'll type it out right here. There's a video I made, how to assemble documents for the visa interview. But what documents are you going to need to bring? You're going to need to bring your unexpired passport, your original birth certificate, and a copy certified of your birth certificate. You're going to need to bring the NOA-2 letter, the approval letter, okay? You got to bring your NOA-2 letter, which says you've been approved. Photos of your relationship. Chats, the most recent chats from WhatsApp or Yahoo Messenger. If you served in the military in your foreign country. A discharge paper from the military. If you've ever been divorced in your foreign country. Certified copy of your divorce decree. Police certificate from where you've ever lived or worked for 6 months. So if you're in Australia, you got to have a police certificate from Australia. If you worked and lived in New Zealand for 6 months or more, you got to have a police certificate from New Zealand and Australia. Do you see how that works? If you're from the Philippines and you live in the Philippines, but you worked in Hong Kong for 6 months or a year, or you worked in Singapore, you're going to have to get a police certificate from Hong Kong, Singapore, and the Philippines. So you got to bring your police certificates with you. If you are from India or Pakistan, let's suppose you're from Pakistan and all you've done is lived in Pakistan. You've never lived anywhere else. Then you'll need a police certificate from Pakistan. It's not difficult. So you need your married. You're going to need your NOA-2 letter from your visa application approval. You're going to need your fiance is going to have to give you his tax returns, his W-2s, at least 3 years worth of tax returns, W-2s, tax transcripts, pay stubs, 6 months worth of pay stubs, a letter from his or her boss. You're going to have two separate files when you go to your K1 visa interview, your financial side and your civil documents. On the financial side, your sponsor, U.S. citizen sponsor, needs to prove his income. He does that, or she does it with tax returns, 3 years worth of tax returns, or tax transcripts, W-2s. If you're missing a W-2, you got to find it, because the W-2s have to match. If you have two W-2s for one tax return, the two W-2s, the pay has the income added together has to equal the total income on the 1040. Do you see what I'm saying? And a letter from his or her boss saying, yeah, you know, this is where so-and-so works. This is how much he makes or she makes. It's real easy. Don't overstress it. Don't overthink it. But if you watch the video I made on how to assemble documents for your K1 visa interview, it will answer all your questions. Let me see here. Larry, Shiku, Shiku Dumbaya, National Benefit Center work today. I don't know. I probably not. I probably don't think so. Larry Piercy, you've been offline for a month. No, I haven't. I've been offline for 3 days. I had a different mission. So you've been offline for a month. We haven't. We're always here. We've never once missed a live stream. How to assemble documents for the visa interview is a video I made. If you watch it, It will answer all your questions on how to get your paperwork together and what paperwork you need for the visa interview. Larry, you talking K1 visas? I'm talking K1 visas, green cards, spousal visas, tourist visas, whatever you want to talk about. I'm going to talk about it. If you have a question about a tourist visa, I'll tell you the answer. Okay? If you have a question about a CR1, IR1 spousal visa, I'll give you the answer. CR1 is conditional residency. If you've been married less than 2 years, you're going to get a 2-year green card. If you've been married longer, 2 years or longer, you're going to get a 10-year green card for the spousal visa. So let's suppose you've been married for 3 years and you finally got the paperwork set up and you submitted for the spousal visa. Once you get through all the hurdles at the National Visa Center, you're going to get a 10-year green card. IR1, okay? You're a resident. You get a 10-year residency visa. It's good for 10 years. If you've been married 2 years or longer. If you've been married less than 2 years, you get a CR1 spousal visa, which is a conditional residency visa. Then you have to lift the conditions off the spousal green card, the same as you would for a K1. Let me see here. Terrence, what do we submit for my fiance's green card application after we get married? A lot of paperwork. I've made a video, Terrence. Watch the video I made on adjustment of status. I make this video so I don't have, I could sit here for 2 hours and explain to you how to put a green card package together. But if you watch the video right here, if you can find it in the channel. Let me see, adjustment of status video. Look for the adjustment of status video. It's about 20 minutes. It breaks down in details in depth on how to put together a green card application. I've made like 2 or 3 videos over the past 2 or 3 years on how to do that. But I could make brand new videos for 2025. If you want me to remake the videos, I can do it. Larry Piercy, I have never seen anything in my life drag out so long as USCIS. Well, you got 60 to 70,000 people waiting on green cards, and they've got 4,000 employees or less processing them. So if you got 60 to 100,000 people and 4,000 employees, it ain't going to be quick, right? It's like you go to a football game and it's a full stadium, and out of those 65,000 people, you got to manually process a ticket for each one of them by hand. And check this and make sure that they're qualified to enter the football stadium. You got to have enough people to do it, right? Immigration need to hire more people. Larry Piercy, are they all going through Missouri? No, they're not. They're not all going through Missouri. Green card applications go to Elgin, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, Phoenix, Arizona, and Louisville, Texas. Those are the 4 places that they start out, that you mail them to. It depends on where you live. Once it gets adjudicated in Elgin, Phoenix, Chicago, or Louisville, then they send it off to the next level. Unless you're at the National Benefits Center, which is, if you get an IOE receipt number, it means the process is going to be a little bit faster because it's going to be electronically processed. But here's the bottom line, right? Does it really matter where your freaking green card paperwork goes to as long as you get your green card? Does it matter? The goal is the green card. So Larry says, I got an IOE. So you got an electronic processing. So your green card, well, Margie's green card will get processed a little quicker if it's an electronic, which it is. You got an IOE receipt number. You mailed it to Chicago. I'm sure you mailed your package to Chicago. They got it. They processed it. They gave you an IOE number. You're good to go. Terrence. Okay, thanks. I'll check it out. Estelle Lemegum. What's going on, Estelle? Hey, Diego, my wife. K1 was updated from refused under 221G. Now it says ready. Is it a good sign? Yes. And Estelle, didn't I say that was going to happen? I said that was going to happen, right? Mountain Dew salute to Estelle. Ready status is good. Now you're going to wait for issued status. Okay? Once you get issued status, go pick up the passport because the visa is going to be in it. And then get on a plane, get your wife on a plane and get her to the United States. If you can accompany her to the United States, I recommend it. Renes, you will get yours soon, Shiku. That's correct. Larry Piercy, it doesn't matter unless you count life expectancy. Larry, listen. You always got to have a backup plan when you're in the middle of a green card application, right? So you got to have somebody. So let's suppose and something happens and somebody, you file for a green card and your husband gets killed in a car wreck. Let's hope that never happens. But let's suppose your sponsor gets killed in a car wreck, Miss Beneficiary, or the other way around. And you're in America without your sponsor, right? Your sponsor passed away. Does that mean you got to go back to your home country? What if you're working and you have a good job and you don't have your sponsor to lift the conditions off your 2-year green card because he's passed away or she passed away? You can still file for the 10-year green card as a widow of a U.S. citizen. Okay? If you don't know how to do the paperwork, it's easy to do. But if something happens to the U.S. citizen while the wife or husband is waiting for a green card or has a green card, has a 2-year green card, and then the time comes to lift the conditions off of a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, and the American citizen has passed away, you can file for the green card still. You're not going to be deported. You just got to cover the income. They got to make sure that you're not going to become a public charge. That's it. That is it. You're not going to be a public charge. You can stay in America without your sponsor if he passes away. Okay? If something happens to your sponsor, you can still stay in America. You lift the conditions off your 2-year green card, and you check the box that says, I'm a widow of a U.S. citizen. Okay? If you need a joint sponsor, you need somebody in the family to help, then so be it. But you don't get deported. You just got to prove income. Got it? Let me see. Ren S. I live in Texas, and USCIS has an office here, so maybe that's why I got it faster. But my green card 485 is still in progress. I filed it on December 1st. Yeah, possibly, but it really depends on how strong your application is. Remember, FedEx, UPS, and DHL, they can ship from California to New York in 24 hours. So the location really is not an issue. What the issue is how good is your application? If you file a crappy green card application with hardly anything in it, you're barely passable, you file a C+ application, immigration is going to get it, they're going to toss it aside, and they're going to work on that A+ application. If you don't have the time or the patience or the effort or this, if you don't want to put any sweat equity into this green card application, immigration is not going to put any sweat equity into helping you get it. You're going to be stuck on this line over here. But remember, if you put a lot of sweat equity into your green card application and you show a fantastic application where you have put together something so great, it would qualify for a 10-year green card. Immigration is going to pay attention to you, and they're going to reward you with a faster processing time. You got to trust me, guys. You got to trust me on this. Terrence. Also, the K1 visa expiration date is 90 days, right? No, the K1 visa expires the minute you land in America. You're on an I-94. The K1 visa becomes obsolete the minute the plane lands in America and you got your little feet walking across the airport looking for immigration. The K1 visa no longer exists. You check in with the Border Patrol and Customs, and they issue you an I-94. That then takes the place of the K-1 visa. You don't know this stuff, right? You're learning this stuff. You just don't know. You guys didn't know that, did you? But you get an I-94 and it's good for 90 days. The K-1 visa becomes obsolete. The K-1 visa is a visa to get you from country A to the United States. One way. When you land, you get off the plane, and immigration accepts you. The K-1 visa is an antiquity. Now you're working off the I-94. You go to the Border Patrol website and you print 5 or 6 copies of your I-94. It says you got 90 days to be in America. What that really means is you got 90 days to get married. If you don't get married within 90 days, you get deported. You got it? Do you understand the difference? The K-1 visa becomes obsolete when you land in America, and then you become an I-94. You become it's like your temporary green card while you're waiting for your permanent green card. You got it? So, Terrence, the K-1 visa expires in 90 days? No, it expires when you land. Which means if the K-1 visa date expires, we can no longer get married even if she's in the USA. Terrence, pay attention to class. Listen, okay? You get into America on your K-1. K-1 becomes obsolete. You get an I-94. An I-94, good for 90 days. Listen. You get a Form I-94, it's good for 90 days. You must get married within the dates on the I-94. You got to get married within the dates on the I-94. If you don't, you get deported. You got it? Forget about the K-1 visa. When the plane lands, forget about the K-1 visa. It doesn't exist anymore. It's irrelevant. You're working off the I-94. Tell me you understand that, Terrence. Yes, now I understand. And thank you so much for this information. Excellent. Mountain Dew salute to Terrence. We're going to get you through this process, guys. We're going to get you through it. Okay? And if you hang out with us, we didn't abandon you. It's 2025. It's New Year's Day. Karina worked since 4 o'clock this morning, making all kinds of good dineros because she worked on New Year's Day. Karina's a capitalist. She's a capitalist entrepreneur right here. I tell you. She said this. They said they needed people to work New Year's Day. I'll do it. She's in there. So Terrence, you understand how this works now, right? The K-1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. It's temporary. That's why you only have to be at 100% of the income at the visa interview at the embassy, because it's a non-immigrant temporary visa. It is a passport for a one-way trip to the United States. When you hit the United States, the visa becomes obsolete. Now you're working off of an immigrant application for a green card. What happens when you're working off of an immigrant visa? You got to be at 125% of the minimum income to qualify. So the K-1 visa is a non-immigrant temporary visa that gets you to America. You get to the United States, you're working now off of the I-94, which is a temporary green card technically. You got 90 days to get married. Now you're working towards now you're an immigrant. You're legally here. You did a face-to-face with the Border Patrol. They said, welcome, come on in. You become legal. They give you an I-94. That's your legal paperwork to be in America. You print 6 copies of your I-94. You put one in with the green card application. You carry one in your car. You carry one in your purse. You carry one in your wallet. You put it in your jacket pocket. That's your legal status in America until you get your green card. Okay, well, Diego, my I-94 expires in 90 days. Okay. If you get married within the time frame on the I-94, you're within status. you're good to go. So if you filed for your green card after, let's say, 60 days, your I-94 then expires. You don't have your green card because you're still waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. But you got your I-94. Well, my I-94 is expired. But you got a 797C says that you've applied for your freaking green card. Right? You're in status. You've got your marriage certificate. If you don't, let's suppose you don't file for your green card, you get married within 90 days, but you can't file for your green card for, let's say, 4 months. You have your marriage certificate, you have your expired I-94, and you have the receipt from the payment for your green card application. You're in status. Immigration's not going to mess with you. They're not going to bother you. Okay? All right. Terrence, now you understand. Christopher Reese, good evening. You all hope all is well. Happy 2025. May all of us thrive in 2020. In 25. Listen, you're coming to the United States for the first time, probably this year. This year is your first time in America. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. Don't be scared. Okay? Just immerse yourself into the United States. Become an American. Karina's done so much. In her first year, in 2 days, it will be her anniversary of 1 year in America. And then next year, next March, we apply for her 10-year green card. And in 1 year, Karina's, what has she done? She got her green card. She had her work permit. She got her Florida driver's license. She got a job. Those are, remember, Karina, she lived in
Taxes.
And what taxes? Yeah, she got her. She's paying taxes. Karina lived in Caracas, Venezuela. She used the metro or the bus. She didn't need to drive a freaking car. Then she relocated to Bogota, Colombia, and she used the Transmilenio. When I lived with Karina in Colombia, our car sat in the garage for 2 years. My friend used to come over and crank it up once a month. We didn't need a car. So Karina had no reason to learn how to drive in Colombia or Venezuela. She gets to America, it's a different story. So if you are a beneficiary, let's suppose you live in the Philippines or in India, Pakistan, or wherever you live, and you don't need to drive because of where you live, you got public transportation. Remember, unless you're moving to New York or Los Angeles or like a big city like that, you're going to have to learn how to drive a freaking car. And Karina learned how to drive a car. She got her green card. She got her driver's license. She got her work permit. She had her W-9, W-4, excuse me. She's paying taxes. She's made a lot of advancements in 1 year. And you, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, it's going to be your responsibility to help your beneficiary get her or him established in the United States. It's going to be a big difference from the country that you lived in, okay? Doesn't matter where you live in the world, it's going to be different here. Just be prepared for that change. Christopher Reese, question for the whole K1 process, how many copies of my divorce decree do I need? I applied I-129F with a copy. I have one with Ray's seal for the interview. When you file, you got to, number one, you got to have a certified copy of your divorce decree from the courthouse. Okay? You can't pull out your divorce decree from your office drawer or from your closet and go to Office Depot, make a copy for immigration. They won't accept it. If you have a divorce decree or a death decree or an annulment, you have to get a certified courthouse copy, stamped and signed in black ink or blue ink by the clerk of the court. How many copies of this divorce decree do you need? Well, you don't need 20 freaking pages. If you got 30 pages in your divorce decree, it's like this. Immigration want to see the one where the judge, they want to see at least the first 5 pages. And the page where the judge has signed off as you guys are now legally divorced. They're looking for the judge's signature. Okay? Not the magistrate. You could have a divorce decree that's signed by a magistrate. It's not acceptable. Go back to the courthouse and say, hey, this divorce decree signed by the magistrate. I need a certified copy signed by the judge. So the first 5 or 6 copies, and the final copy is going to be the signature of the judge. Immigration couldn't care less. Who got the cats? Who got the dogs? Who got the kitchen utensils? Who split what with who? They couldn't care less. They just want to know that you guys are divorced. So the question from Christopher is, how many copies of my divorce decree do I need? Well, you're going to need a certified copy for the 2-year green card application. You're going to need a certified courthouse copy for the 10-year green card. I said that right? Oh yeah. So this is divorce decrees, or death certificates, or whatever, annulments. You need a certified courthouse copy for the 2-year green card application, for the 10-year green card application, and for the U.S. citizenship. Okay? So you're going to need a minimum of it, and one for yourself. So you need at least 4. And then 1 for the K-1 visa application. So that's 5. And then 1 for the K-1, then for the visa interview. That's 6. So if you're divorced once, you need a minimum of 6 certified copies of your divorce decree. If you're divorced twice, okay, you're going to need 6 copies of the first one and 6 copies of the second one, because you've got to put them both in the application. If you've been divorced 3 times, you're going to need 6 copies of the first one, 6 copies of the second one, and 6 copies of the third one. Do you see what I'm saying? You got it? You got that? Christopher, I have one with a race seal for an interview. There you go. Now, not every courthouse in America has a race seal. Here in Florida, they don't do a race seal. They stamp it and they sign it in wet black ink or blue ink. That was sufficient for immigration. And then what I did was this. What you can do is this. Get a copy of the divorce decree certified by the clerk of the court, and in the bottom left-hand corner, staple the business card of the clerk of the court in the bottom left-hand corner. That proves you went to the courthouse, and this is the clerk of the court, and this is his or her business card. You got it? This is good advice I'm giving you guys. I'm going to save you a lot of headaches. You like my Happy New Year hat? I think it's pretty cool, right? Susie shares, we're in Florida. I'm in Sarasota. We are close to Pensacola in the Panhandle. Sarasota, so you're on the south, you're in southern Florida. Christopher Reese, congratulations on all of your accomplishments. Proud of you. Benedictions para ti. The Mosquito Guy, how expensive was it to purchase car insurance for Karina in Florida? Depends on your driving record. I got a perfect driving record. The last speeding ticket I got was in 2001, 20 something years ago. So it's inexpensive. It depends on which company too. Some insurance companies are expensive, more than others. You got to shop around, but it wasn't that much. Christopher Reese, I have. Okay. Larry Piercy, hey, what grade was my green card application? Seriously, your green card application was A, Larry. It was an A. It was good. You did a good job. You did a good job on your green card application. No, you really did. And Karina says best wishes to Margie. Larry, Karina sends her best wishes to Margie. What is she sleeping? Was she all day making Thai food for you, and now she's wore out and she's in bed? Christopher, I applied. It was certified copy, but I have another signed with the race copy with a certified stamp on it. There you go. She's washing the car. Limpio un carro in pavimento. Karina's like, okay. So let's see here. So Christopher, you're good, but you need, this applies to everybody, okay? If you have a divorce, okay, it's no big deal. Stuff happens, right? It's all right. Because now you're with the wife of your eternal wife. Karina's going to put up with me for the rest of my life, right? If you got the death certificate, annulment, like if you're from the Philippines, it's probably impossible to get a divorce in the Philippines, right? So if you're a beneficiary, you're a beautiful Filipino bride, okay, doesn't want to, she got married in the past to, let's say, a Filipino or an American, it's next to impossible to get a divorce in the Philippines. So you get an annulment. But an American living in the, let's suppose the Filipino married to the American and they get a divorce. The American can divorce the Filipino easily. It's easy to do. But a Filipino cannot get a divorce in the Philippines. So it's going to be 99.9% of the time will be an annulment. If you're a Filipino married to another Filipino, don't even try to get a divorce. You got to get an annulment. And then you got to get a certified copy of that for the K-1 visa application. Immigration want to see that you are legally free and able to marry each other. Let me see. Good job, Larry Piercy, on your green card application from Augie. It was good. You did a good job. But you paid attention to class, too. Susie shares, I like your hat. ¿Te gusta sombrero? Susie, ¿te gusta sombrero? I'm at the beginning stages of filing. Now, remember, Susie shares, Colombia is not spelled with a U. If you spell Colombia with a U, you're going to get in trouble in Colombia. Colombia is spelled like this. Number one. Susie, let me give you, I've lived in Colombia for a long time. When you land in El Dorado Airport, Susie, in Bogota, you're going to see these vendors selling t-shirts and hats that says, it's Colombia, not Colombia. Okay? They're going to be hats. I know I oopsed. I'm trying to protect you from getting, from somebody giving you a hard time in Colombia. In the United States, people don't know. So let's see. Susie shares, I like your hat. At the beginning stages, I'm at the beginning stages of filing. I'm traveling to Colombia soon, not only to see my fiance, but to take additional photos for a great application. He is in Venezuela. Okay. Well, you're going to get a Mountain Dew salute for your fiance from Venezuela. Where does he live? In Caracas? Los Teques? Miranda District? Mountain Dew salute to your beneficiary in Venezuela. Now listen. So your beneficiary is going to go to Colombia to meet you. Don't you go into Venezuela, Susie shares. You're an American. Don't go into Venezuela. Maduro will take you prisoner, put you in prison, and use you as a political pawn, okay? Don't go into Venezuela. Please meet your beneficiary in Colombia. Get lots of pictures together. Make sure you take a photograph of your boarding passes from the United States to El Dorado. Now, are you going to go from Bogota to somewhere else? You're traveling to Colombia soon. Are you going to go from Colombia to, say, Medellin or Cartagena or somewhere else? Are you going to meet each other in Bogota? Because remember, if your beneficiary lives in Venezuela, the embassy interview is going to be in Bogota. The medical exam is going to be in Bogota. And I've made videos on how the medical exam goes in Bogota. If you need help, if you need my help, Susie says, we will help you. Because Karina is from Venezuela. And there's a Venezuelan flag right there. I promise I will not go to Venezuela. Good. This trip is in Bogota. Now, good. So, when you get to Bogota, hopefully you got a credit card that doesn't charge you an overseas financial fee. Like my credit card, I can use it all day long in Bogota, and I don't get hit with a financial overseas tariff. Okay. So you make sure if you got a, and secondly, you want to use your credit card as much as you can, because that is evidence that you were in Colombia. Okay. I downloaded all my credit card receipts from Colombia, from Bogota, and I put it in the K-1 visa application, and that proved that I was there, plus the pictures and the boarding passes. So you need to take pictures of the boarding passes with your cell phone, leaving the United States and returning back to the United States, because those boarding passes, they fade out over time. They fade out. Okay, so you want to have a clear picture of your boarding passes. Make pictures on your phone, print them on your home computer. So you have, and you want to make copies for your K1 visa application and also for the green card application, which will be in the future. Okay. Take lots of pictures together. Keep all of your credit card receipts. Go out to eat. Go different places. Go to different restaurants, and keep the receipts from all the dinner dates and lunch dates and breakfast dates you go on. Include those in the K1 visa application. You get a white piece of paper. Okay, get a white piece of paper and tape the receipts from your credit card on the paper, and identify the name of the restaurant, where you went to eat, what you had for lunch. Overload this K1 visa application with evidence of your relationship. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? I know it's good when you go in to eat dinner somewhere. Tell the lady or the gentleman, I need the receipt, please, and they'll give you the receipt. Get pictures with lots of people in Colombia. If your beneficiary, if your fiance is from Venezuela, no doubt, does he have family in Colombia? Maybe not, right? Maybe all his family's in Venezuela. So you want to get pictures with lots of people in Colombia. Selfies are not going to cut it. Immigration couldn't care less about selfies. They ignore them. They want to see pictures of you with family and friends. So if you're flying to Colombia, make sure you make new friends and get them all in the pictures. Okay? If you go into a restaurant and there's a bunch of people in there, say, hey, come on, do you want to get in a group picture with us? Get that picture and ask their names. Because when you submit photographs for your K1 visa application, you got to put the place the picture was taken, you got to write it out or make it professional. Where was the picture taken? Who's in the picture? And what date was it taken? So Susie shares, before you file your K1 visa, hopefully you jump back on the channel again and I can go through a bunch of stuff with you, which is critical to make sure you get it approved first time without an RFE. Larry Piercy, that's a lie. Chiku, I passed my dress test a long time ago. Your driving test. You passed your driving test a long time ago, received my driving permit, just waiting for the work permit. Well, you probably don't live in Florida. Where do you live? You must live in Oregon. Let me see. Rohit. Hi, Diego. Happy New Year. What's going on, Rohit? What is 120 days after fingerprints on I-485? What is 120 days after fingerprints on I-485? I don't know. That's the first question I've ever been asked. I don't know the answer to. What is 120 days after the fingerprints? The fingerprints is the biometrics. 120 days after you do your biometrics. That's 3 months. That's the length of your I-94. Your I-94 is 120 days. No, it's 90 days. I don't know. 3, 6, 9. So that's 4 months. I don't know, Rohit. Susie shares, I promise I will not go to Venezuela. There you go. Go to Bogota. Now remember, Susie, when you get to Bogota, Colombia, you're going to be at 10,300 feet above sea level. Be prepared for altitude sickness. When you get off the plane, your head's going to be a little woozy. You may feel a little different. Your body may feel a little uncomfortable. It's normal. You're not sick. Don't panic. You're at very great altitude in the Andes Mountains in Bogota, Colombia. It's very high up in the mountains. Okay? So if you feel a little woozy, you feel tired, it's okay. It's no problem. Okay? Rohit, what if you get pregnant and you're still pending your green card? Will the child be a U.S. citizen? Yes, the child will be born in the United States. If the I-485 is not approved, yes, your child will become a U.S. citizen. Antonio Clark, Happy New Year. Enjoy. Happy New Year, Antonio. Thank you. How's your family, Antonio? How's everybody? It's New Year's Day. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's great to start the New Year's off with the live stream, right? Susie shares, I will be back the first 2 weeks of April. Okay, Susie. When you're in Bogota, keep all your receipts, everything that you can possibly get from Bogota, Colombia, with your Venezuelan beneficiary. You got to get it in your K1 visa application. How many times have you met him, Susie? Is this your first trip to Colombia, or is this your second trip? Hedrex, Soldiero of Christ Fire, Happy New Year, Hedrex. Diego and Karina, God bless you both. Same to you, Hedrex. Let's see here. Susie says, yes, I opened a new bank account that is more friendly to overseas travel. There you go. Susie says, I'll be around. Talk to TYVM. What is that? Talk to you very moment. Shiku's in Oregon. I remember different process in Oregon for a driver's license. In Florida, you can't get it without a green card. Larry Piercy, Karina, he needs organizing. Diego is jumping all around on these questions. No, I'm not organizing anything. I'm answering questions on every part of this subject. I am the PhD of green cards and K1 visas. Let me see here. Shiku, Oregon, you can drive as long as you are legal here. Okay, so you got your social security number and your passport. Okay, and you have your I-94, right? I bet they wanted to see your I-94 in Oregon. Larry Pearson, you are not wrong. I got sick as a dog at Machu Picchu. Now, Machu Picchu is in Peru, right? That's like this village or this town that was built thousands of years ago in Peru. And it's an altitude, I believe, of about 12,000 feet. Or no, 8,000 feet. Now, Machu Picchu, I think, is at 8,000 feet. But Bogota is at 10,300 feet. And I got mountain sickness. No, it's at 8,000 feet, Machu Picchu. But I got mountain sickness in Bogota on the day of Karina's visa interview. The scary visa interview was on November 16th, 2023. And I was in Bogota with Karina, and I was sick with mountain sickness. And I couldn't get up. I was done. I couldn't hardly breathe. So Karina went to the interview by herself, and she did great. She passed. Let me see. Susie shares, I used to live in Denver. Now, Denver is 5,000 feet above sea level, right in Colorado. I remember when I first got there and was tired from the altitude. Right. Yeah, Denver's at 5,000 feet above sea level. So but you're going to be doubling that. Susie, you're going to go from 5,000 feet in Denver to 10,000 plus in Bogota. So it's double. Susie, coming in February for Valentine's, okay? Susie shares, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gotcha. Larry Piercy, yep, not 12,000. Right, it's 8,000 feet. When I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico is about 5,200 feet above sea level. I had altitude sickness there. But when I went to Bogota, I was like, man, I was out cold. Larry Piercy, disregard 8,000 feet is correct. It felt like 12,000. Right. Larry Piercy, 1 mile for Albuquerque. Albuquerque is 5,100 feet above sea level, if I remember. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy 2025, happy new year. Corinne and I are always going to be here for you. We're going to help you pull you over the finish line. If you put together a fantastic green card application, you'll get a fantastic response from immigration. If you put together a crappy green card application, which isn't very strong, which is slow, which is sloppy and lazy, immigration will respond in kind. So remember, the more work you put into your green card application, the more attention you're going to get from immigration. Okay? Larry says, be on time, please, and regular. Larry, I start this live stream either at 1 minute to 6 or 6 p.m. Wednesdays and Saturdays for the last, 3 years? At least three annuals.
No,
I think Larry, I don't know. I don't think if I'm late or something happens to the computer, like I couldn't get an internet connection, then it doesn't happen. But that's out of my control. But here's the deal, Larry. I promise to be on time every live stream. Okay? And we will see you at the next live stream. Today is what? Wednesday?
Yeah.
So we'll be back on Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is Miami. If you live in Miami, New York, if you're on the East Coast of the United States and you're in Eastern Time, the live stream starts at 7 p.m. If you live in Central Time, which is where we live here, it starts at 6 p.m. If you live in Mountain Time, which is like Albuquerque, New Mexico, the live stream starts at 5 p.m. And if you live in California, Oregon, something like that, then the time is Pacific time and it starts at 4 p.m. And we'll see you on Saturday, 6 o'clock in the morning in Thailand. Well, that's why we're here. See you guys soon, okay?